time to look ahead to the second ODI now. Wasim, let me start with you. Did you get a sense, looking at this lineup, that India might have assembled too many top order batters? You see everyone from 1 to 6, they're more accustomed to batting in the top 3 or top 4, be it for their state sides or their IPL teams. So is that another aspect that maybe India should look to fix, or are you saying that no, we want to give these guys a run?
Well, I think this is probably the second, second Indian team probably. So you won't get that opportunity of picking somebody who bats at number 4 or 5 or 6. So most of them either opens. I mean, if you look at Shubman Gill, Shikhar Dhawan, Rituraj Gaikwad, even Ishan Kishan, they bat 1, 2, 3 for their domestic teams or even IPL. Or you have got somebody like Sanju Samson, Shreyas Iyer, they bat at number 3. So you haven't got anybody who bats at 4, 5, or 6, and that is a special. You got to know that role. Somebody as good as Mahendra Singh Dhoni, Yuvraj Singh, even Hardik Pandya. They specialize in those numbers. How to finish games. We've seen Sanju Samson bat so well. But he's not accustomed to batting at that number because he doesn't bat there. But he's batted beautifully. But India don't have anybody to bat at that 4, 5, or 6 position. So I think that's the best probably you will get.
Right. Makhaya, we found right before the first ODI that South Africa do have a World Cup issue that needs to be fixed. Dwayne Pretorius has been ruled out of the tournament. Now, two of the reserves are obviously Marco Jansen and Andile Phehlukwayo. Both of them are also traveling for this series. Do you think South Africa have to give the two some game time now so that it helps them make a decision as to who replaces Pretorius in the World Cup squad, which is a decision they need to make in just about a week's time?
No, exactly. It's almost like you were here when we were actually discussing that. And then I think Andile deserves a lot of, game time. It's not easy for him that any player who just been coming into the squad and start playing in the 2020 World Cup. That's a massive stage. Even from Jansen's point of view, he hasn't played any game, since they came back from England. So that it gives them an opportunity now to redeem themselves regarding of just being the travelers. They can be able now to get themselves in the position that they want to be in the top 11 or the top 15, going to the World Cup. Because now there's a gap. Both of them, they need to grab it. And then I think from Boucher's point of view and Langerfeld as a bowling coach, he need to see both of them playing in the next 2 games.
So if you're doing that, who sits out? Does it make sense to give Kagiso Rabada some rest before the World Cup? He's played all 4 of these games on this India tour, 4 games in 9 days. You don't want to lose another fast bowler. Do you rest Rabada? Do you rest one more pacer along with him? How do you fit Jansen and Phehlukwayo into the scheme of things?
This is how I think from our point of view. And Gidi, he's been expensive in both 2020 and the ODI. Shamsi, he hasn't been doing very well, especially with both 2020 and the 50 over game. If I would be a selector or a coach, I would take both of them and say, you need to sit out. And then give Rabada 6 overs, and then that's it. And then you make sure that you control his workload, not give them to, let him bowl all 10 overs. You've got the 2 guys that they're coming in. They've got 20 overs in their hands. And then you've got Maharaj who can bowl the other one. And then Kagiso will give him 4. And then you've got Makram who can take over the next 4 overs from Kagiso's workload. So that can make the whole 50 overs into their hands.